Hello, everybody, for the H-Town Rundown Houston Rockets, guys. I'm here with my boy Dante, as per usual, on this lovely, lovely Friday. We got a lot to talk about today, so let's jump right into the intro. Hey, guys, I'm with my boy Dante here. Dante, it's Friday, man. It's beautiful outside. How are you?
I'm doing awesome, man. I'm doing real awesome. Like I say, playoff is kicking into high gear. And like I say, every time, you know, a Rocket show come up and, I get excited because again, just was a all around great season for us. And I'm just excited for our Rockets to be happy, be us as fans, to be happy again, man, that we got a bright future, that we got a good team for years to come, great coaching. I'm just excited every time I have a show, man.
Absolutely, and I love having you on, Dante. We got a lot to talk about today. So last week we had Will on, and we talked about our starters and player reviews. So this time it's time for Dante and I to talk about our bench. All right, we got a lot of players to talk about here, and we can talk about some free agency stuff too. I know everyone's all excited about that. So Dante, let's start off right off the rip, man. I'm gonna let this one be in your hands. I'm gonna let you start us off with who you want to talk about off the bench first.
So are we giving the grades and stuff, or just talking
Yeah,
about?
yep.
All right,
Grades and
so
all. Yeah.
my first guy coming off the bench, I'm gonna go with Aaron Holiday. I'm gonna say he get a B plus because again, Aaron Holiday was pretty much consistent all year coming off the bench. But when Amin Thompson got hurt, that opened up a lot of minutes for him. Remember when Thompson was healthy, he wasn't playing, seeing too many of those minutes. But when Amin Thompson got hurt, that opened up a lot of doors for Aaron Holiday. He shot the ball at a high clip this year, at 40% from three. So again, like I say, man, very impressed with Aaron Holiday, his leadership role, his shooting, his ability to score the basketball, get inside the paint, and he's been doing it all year. And free throw line jump shots was really good. So Aaron Holiday helped us a lot in clutch time situations as well. You can't forget about that game, against the New York Knicks, what he had when he dunked over three people. And Aaron Holiday had some big time games for us, man. And that was a lot underrated. That was pretty underrated all year long. Aaron Holiday stepped up, got some big men, especially at opening up the door when Thompson got hurt. And he just stayed in the rotation throughout the whole year. He never left the rotation ever since then. So again, I'm gonna give Aaron Holiday a B plus, man. I like the way Whitty played this year.
Oh man, I love the mic system we got going on here. But yeah, Dante, I'm 100% agree with you right there. I'd say B plus is a super fair grade for our boy. He did really well all season, especially relative to expectations. I thought he was going to come in and be like a third string, combo guard. Um, I didn't even know he was in the league at one point when we signed him. And for him to kind of have that impact for us, like kind of similar to Jeff Green almost, just like a guy that we signed and had an amazing impact. Like you said, when Amen got hurt, Aaron Holiday shined the entire time. He did have some lapses, and that I think hinders his grade down a little bit lower, but he shot the ball pretty well for a long time, kind of like Dylan Brooks did in the beginning of the season, when Dylan Brooks is actually leading the league in 3-point percentage for a while there, which is absolutely unbelievable. Especially how it regressed down to the means towards the end of the season. And Aaron Holiday too, he did have some times where you're like, why are you shooting that? Why are you doing that? He acting a little goofy, out of character. But overall, he did pretty well. And not to mention that floater game, that his floater game opened up the entire court. I feel like for our guys, especially that pick and roll he'd run with Şengün and Jabari Smith Jr. He had some good actions going there. So B plus I think is a super fair grade. As I alluded to, I'm going to move on to Jeff Green as my guy. I loved Uncle Jeff coming in. I love the signing. I'd say relative to expectations, again, B plus, right? The shooting, that was expected for that. It was great at first, and then it started to decline towards the end. And his season averages aren't very high, but that's not what we expect him to do. We wanted him to be a guy in the locker room, and he did just that. He was absolutely fantastic in the locker room. He did a lot for our guys. He brought a lot of energy, especially sometimes off the bench when he wasn't supposed to. He came and helped us win games. That's not something you're expecting from 49-year-old Jeff Green. And relative to expectations, Jeff Green was just absolutely fantastic. So I'm giving him a B plus.
Yeah, I definitely like the Grandpa Jeff Green. I mean, like I said, that dude still can jump, man. The dude still can jump about this world.
Bro, didn't he dunk too? A couple of those this season?
Yep, he did. He had a couple of those exciting dunks. And plus, the Denver Nuggets game earlier in the year, when he took over in that fourth quarter, I think that was the first game at Toyota Center when he took over against the Denver Nuggets, man. Like I say, in the fourth quarter, when Denver tried to come back, was trying to get back in the game, and he pretty much closed out the fourth quarter. So again, Jeff Green had some big performances for us. One of those leaders that when we lost Nikola Jokic, when we lost, LP, he was one of the leaders that to step up, had control of the locker room, came out, played well, and he kept this team going. He kept this team going along with Fred and Dillon Brooks. So I would say a B for Jeff Green. I think Jeff Green played an excellent season. And again, like I say, whether if we sign him back or not, it was a great season for Jeff Green. I appreciate having Jeff Green his second stint in Houston.
Yeah, I think it was definitely more exciting than his first stint here. Although we ended up going to, face OKC, and all of that, and then the bubble, I think it was just a lot of circumstances that were interesting. But him and Rocco were really fun. But this season, I love what he did for us, especially for our young guys. So moving on, talking about young guys, I think the next guy we got to talk about is Amen Thompson. We've been talking about him the whole time, Dante. So let's talk about Amen Thompson. He don't have a shot. That boy does not have a jump shot right now, but he's got everything else. He's got the IQ, he's got the handles. Looked really nice towards the kind of like the end of the season there when he started to become healthy and play more minutes. He's got the rebounding, which my goodness, in offensive rebounding percentage, by the way, according to Basketball Reference, he is third. No, hang on, I'm sorry, fifth in the league. That's crazy to have your point guard off the bench and offensive rebounding percentage. Like top 5, top 7, top anything. Absolutely crazy for a boy, man. On top of that, his defensive intensity was absolutely phenomenal. That was not something I expected at all from him, to come in and just be an absolute dog and tear on defense. He was really great. That was something that was unexpected. And then his finishing was really, really elite at times too. I mean, his Euro step, he got that step in him. He got that big 2-step on him. And his floater game is okay. Anything inside the paint though for him is really just sweet. He's like, I don't know, he's like a center but 6'7". You know what I mean? It's just crazy. He's got an elite skill set. I think he's going to be a fantastic future to go along with. So all of that together, I'm giving him a B for the season, right? I was hoping he would have some sort of a mid-range, and before he got hurt, he did have like this little bit of mid-range shot, when he could pull up kind of at the free throw line and like maybe a foot outside of the paint, but then he got away from that. And then he was just specifically an inside guy. Occasionally would shoot shots at the, like the elbows and whatnot. But other than that, it was just, paint points, right? Which is fine, especially in his rookie season, but we need him to develop that mid-range. And then hopefully that 3-point shot as well. So that's something I want to see him develop into. But so I guess, yeah, I'm going to go with the B, Dante. What do you think?
I'm going to go with a B plus, and here's why. He did get injured against Charlotte, the first Charlotte game, which kept him out for quite extended time. He came back, struggled a little bit, and he found it throughout the middle of the All-Star break. But after the All-Star break, after he had an A throughout that whole after the whole All-Star break, he finished with an A. So the injury, and we expect a rookie to struggle really at some point, but the injury after the injury and him struggling throughout the first half and turning on throughout the whole second half and the middle of the All-Star break when he's playing some great basketball, but the half part of the season, like before the All-Star break, that's where he got the B+ for me. Now, if he didn't never get hurt and he played throughout that whole entire time at that point and finished on strong like he did in that whole second half, I would have gave him an A. But B+ is really good. He was hot, man. In that second half, his athleticism, him being able to get to the basket, moving without the basketball, he did pretty well. Got some sneaky athleticism. And this guy was a damn played like an all-world defender, bro. This guy played an all-world defender, dude. This guy defense is gonna he's gonna win us some defensive player of the year awards. I'm telling you, this kid is something special, man. So he got a B+. If he didn't get hurt, I would have gave him an A if he didn't get hurt. But he had no doubt an A from the All-Star middle, from going into the All-Star break on down into the finish the regular season. He definitely had an A throughout that whole time because he was consistent.
Yeah, he was really consistent. And again, like the defense and rebounding is something I was not expecting from him coming in. I didn't know too much about his rookie profile. I didn't know a lot about that. But I mean, watching him throughout the entire regular season was absolutely phenomenal. It was a joy watching him play every single game, especially once he was healthy. And like you said, like at the end of after the post All-Star break, he was pretty good. He was pretty solid. Yeah. In that final game, he also played really well too. He had a triple-double in that last game.
Yep, he did. Like before he came, when he was in that, the knock on him was he played. It was too easy for him and his brother in that overtime elite because you're playing against teenagers. And I read his scouting report before the draft. And his scouting report were pretty good outside of shooting. So if he can get into the gym and work on at least getting a mid-range jump shot, he can be unstoppable for the guard, man. He got a good quick first step, and it's hard to score and affect the game without just really even shooting. To last a long time in the league, you have to be able to shoot the basketball. But him, it just something feel different about Amen Thompson. The way he moved without the basketball, his defensive presence, him being able to get the rebound and push the basketball, but him getting a jump shot will make him more lethal. That can damn near turn him into an all-star caliber player.
Nobody crucified me for saying this, but you know who Amen reminds me of? A shorter Ben Simmons when he first entered the league.
Yeah.
He was, again, couldn't shoot worth a damn, right? But he could rebound that ball. He could get you every assist possible. He was triple-double monster for a while there, an absolute terror on the defensive end. As long as Amen keeps his confidence, I mean, he could be the max Ben Simmons with a mid-range, And that's not a knock on Ben Simmons because, I think he should have won Deep Boy one of those years. I was really high on Ben Simmons before, the fiasco and whatnot. But, I mean, Amen is just – I guess I'm still gonna give him, in that BB+ range for right now, But I'm so excited to see what he does next season.
Yep.
And I had the chance to ask Kendrick Perkins, Big Perk on X, to see what he thought of the Houston Rockets core, and he thinks that at some point, either the upcoming year or the year after, we're gonna have to move Fred VanVleet to the bench or get rid of him for Amen Thompson. And if Amen develops a mid-range next season, we might have to look at a roster change, right? I mean, the 6'7" point guard that can rebound like that can pass the ball like that, and defend at that level, all defensive level. I mean, I say Ben Simmons because we haven't seen a point guard be this much of a terror on defense since Ben Simmons. And I mean, I think he's a better defender than when Marcus Smart won Defensive Player of the Year, and that's no knock on Marcus Smart, but and call me biased, but Amen Thompson is just phenomenal. All right, Dante, who do you want to go with next? We got a couple guys still on our bench in between Tyrese and Cam Whitmore. Who do you
I'm gonna go with Cam Whitmore. I'm gonna give it an A. I'm gonna give him an A.
Oh,
He's been
okay.
good all year. The moment he stepped in the lineup, he's been good. With him being in a G League and coming up and being effective immediately, that what pushed it for me. He probably had that. I know he had multiple. I know he had bad games this year too, but I remember him being consistent, man. I promise. I remember this kid impressed me every single game. Outside of Boston, the Boston game probably was his worst game that he played all year long. I mean, this guy athleticism, he improved his shooting ability too.
He
His
did.
shooting ability was a big question coming out of Villanova, being 19, physically strong, 6'8", 6'8". Man, I'm telling you, that kid is something special, man. But it's amazed me how much he can score the basketball, put it on the floor, not afraid to shoot. And again,
He's
Cam
not
has,
afraid at all.
yeah,
That's
he's
you're
not
right.
afraid
He's
in
got
the
that
moment.
confidence.
Yep, he's got that confidence. And another guy that's going to be a very good defender, man. He's going to be one of those special 3-and-D players, bro. I'm telling you. Cam Whitmore gets an A for me, man. I believe he's been great all year long. And for him to average double-digit points, man. He averaged double-digit points. He averaged what it was, like 13, 12 points a game coming off the bench until Ime Udoka figured out that he was better than Jayshawn Tate and pulled Jayshawn Tate up out the lineup. Like I've been saying that Cam Whitmore is this point better than Jayshawn Tate. And Ime Udoka finally heard me and said, "Nope, Jayshawn, sit on the bench. Cam Whitmore is better than you right now, and he's our future." And he actually played him, and he been consistent all year long. Now he did have some bad shooting games, but again, even though when you have bad shooting games, you still show promise of what this kid can do. And this man shot the 3 ball pretty well, went to the basket pretty well, played some big time defense, man. And to average, 12 points per game to 13 points per game this coming season, man, coming off the bench, filling that role for Tari Eason. Even though I still think he would have got plenty of time with Tari Eason still healthy because he pushed Jayshawn Tate clearly up out of the rotation. And I'm glad that he did do that. Other than that, I give him an A, man. And a lot of teams bet they shouldn't have passed up on this guy and let him fall to Houston. I'm glad he fell down to us, so I'm gonna give him an A. He's been great. He was great this season. This man was great.
He's the gem of the draft, that's for sure. I mean, he fell all the way down to us, and it was perfect because we got both of our guys. We were at one point thinking like, oh man, and by we I mean Houston, the front office, they thought like, should we just take Cam at 4? Should we take Cam 4? Now let's stick with Amen. Let's take him in, and if Cam somehow falls to us, we'll take him. And we got him. Same thing with Tari Issa. We got Şengün, or we got Jabari Smith. We're like, man, kind of like that Tari guy, but we'll wait. And then we still got Tari Issa. Absolutely phenomenal. Our front office has been so good, so phenomenally good. And I'm very, very glad that we've had the privilege to have these guys. And they got us some gems for sure. Again, like I said, Cam, bro. Cam. Cam Whitmore, Slam Whitmore. He's a man that, like I said, I think relative to expectations, he does deserve an A minus. I mean, his best play was that give and go dunk he had on what was his name? James Wiseman.
James Wiseman, yep.
Yeah. Oh man,
he put that boy in the rim, man. That was crazy, man. This guy got some crazy athleticism, bro. And everybody wanted this man. There was times that they wanted him in the dunk contest too. And he said he didn't want to compete. He would compete when his name get bigger. That's what he said. He would start competing. But man, I'm just proud, man. For a guy to fall all the way to 20th, and a guy that we would consider taking at the pick that we picked on Amen Thompson. I mean, again, imagine this how it was going to be a great season. When the Texans go up and get CJ Stroud, they get Will Anderson. That's how the Rockets draft was. You got 2 top 5 players, man. You have 2 top 5 players on your roster. This just same thing how the Texans did. It's got 2 top 5 players, and it changed everything. The Rockets got the same thing, even though Cam Whitmore was drafted 20. That's the same. Cam Whitmore drafted 20, but he was projected to be a top 5 pick. Top 5
Facts.
pick. Amen Thompson was picked at 3, and he was supposed to be picked at top 5. And we was considered picking him at 3, and he slipped all the way down, all down to us. And hey, man, I'm happy that we got him, and he had a great season.
Absolutely facts. You know, I had to turn on the light there, guys. It was getting a little dark in the room. The sun decided to go away for a minute there. But yeah, Cam is just what more can you say about Cam except that he was electric, he was phenomenal, and he was one of the reasons to show up to a game. Right, like people were popping out just to come see this young man, and there was not. I mean, he was in the G League, right? He played in the G League for most of the in season
and
tournament.
most of the first half of the season, yeah, he played in the G League.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then Tari goes down, and it's like, okay, let's give this Cam guy some more minutes. And then he earned those minutes. Like you said, he completely pushed Jae'Sean Tate to the bench. And then even more so out of the lineup. Yeah. So we talked about Cam, we talked about some of our young guys. Can we just talk about Jae'Sean Tate real quick? Let's just get him out of the way. All right. He's a guy that we are hoping hoping this offseason we get out of here, right? Again, love Jae'Sean Tate. He just ran his course for the team. You know, I think he was great. He's been fun. And then that one of those games he had when we first got him, you know, that near 32-point triple double, almost that 5x5. Like I thought he was going to be an absolutely special guy, but the jump shot just has not come along for him. So hopefully a championship team will want him again. I keep saying the Nuggets. The Nuggets might want him. But we should got him out of here and sent him to the Mavs for a couple second round picks earlier, I think, at the trade deadline. But again, I don't know their plan. They seem like they've got a master plan going. So, you know, I'm gonna trust the process, right? We'll trust the process on that one. So Jae'Sean Tate, you got to give him a C minus. I mean, again, relative to expectations, right? You thought he was going to be a high level defender of the season. That he was talking about his jump shot. Everyone's talking about his jump shot all off season. He was going to be, you know, I was expecting 35, 36% shooter, and he couldn't even reach that at times. He got played off the floor too often. They sagged on him, and I mean, you can't have Sengun and Jae'Sean Tate and Jeff Green on the court at the same time, and that was lineups Ime had to run because of, you know, exhaustion and who was hurt and injured at the time. So, you know what I mean? Yeah, I got to give him a C minus. It just really hurt, you know, to see where he was at, and he's just an undersized player. You know, he's 6'4", right? He's really bulky. He's really strong, but he just doesn't have that lift, that oomph. He doesn't have the gravity. You know, he doesn't have that paint gravity either. He's got like he can score in the paint, yeah, but I mean, a man can do that too. You know, Jalen and Shangun can do that too. You know, we need to bring something different, and he wasn't. So yeah, I gotta give him a C minus.
Yeah, I'm gonna give him. I'm on the road today, giving him a C minus. I thought, you know, for that first half of the season, you know, he was shooting the ball pretty well, and then he came back down to earth. He came really back down to earth. But what really got me is when he shot that 3-pointer in Brooklyn. That's what I said. That's why I said, yeah, that's enough. That's enough for Jae'Sean Tate right there. But other than that, man, I appreciate his time though. I appreciate his time.
Yeah.
It's just, you know, Cam Whitmore is just better as of right now. And Jae'Sean Tate can go somewhere else and help out probably a playoff team. He can go somewhere else and help out a playoff team. But for right now, what we're doing at this moment, we're doing all right. Well, like I say, he played at a C level. He played at a C level. Had a very good hot start from the first. Had a very good hot start. And you know, he tailed off from the middle and all the way to the end. He stayed down now. So again, appreciate your services, Jae'Sean Tate. Appreciate your service, Jae'Sean Tate. But hey, we salute you, and you can go help out a playoff team.
Yeah, man, you go get you a chip. All right, go get you a chip. You know, you've been in the league for a while. You deserve it. Go get you a chip, and just bring us back a couple picks. And hey, that's all we asking for. You know, man. Again, Tate. I've liked what he did for the team, right? Like you said, you know, I liked his defensive energy before. You know, he just ran a score for the team. It's no disrespect to our boy. It's just that three that he decided to do, that step back three against that team, against the Nets. Weren't we down like 10 or something like that too. And I just that was tough, 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 tough. Yeah. Let's move on to our next guy. All right, let's go with Tari Eason. So, as you guys know, I'm currently doing a giveaway for our boy Tari Eason. Little bobblehead, yes, yes, still in the package, unopened. Right, it's a Spider-Man inspired Tari Eason bobblehead, and we're trying to give that away. So, I want you guys to comment down below when you get a chance in the comments of the YouTube channel. Whether you agree or disagree with some of our reviews, or just let us know, who you want in free agency for our next topic. I'm kind of interested. You guys want to see us get in free agency, maybe some trades and whatnot. People talking about Paul George, which we'll get to. But Dante, let's talk about Tari Eason. He was really good. He started to finish. The biggest thing last year for him in his rookie season, last season for his rookie season, was just he could not put the ball in the hole when came time to finish. He got too excited. He had too much energy, and he didn't have that stoppage ability. But this season, it seemed like he did, right? He was mucking it up in the play-in tournament. He was getting everyone's grill. He was playing a much better Jae'Sean Tate role, and he was able to hit those spot-up threes. He had some crazy athleticism times as well, and he had to clam some people too. So I'm gonna give him a B, right? The injury for him, it just sucks because we only got to see him for half the season essentially up until about January. I think it was January 1st he got hurt, right? That's just tough, I think this third season, as long as we keep him healthy, he's gonna be fantastic. He's gonna be great. I'm just very excited to see what we can do with him. But yeah, Dante, I think a B plus is fair grade for him, especially since he got hurt for so much of the season. So what do you think?
Well, for me, he was playing lights out. He was playing at A for me before he got hurt. But I can't go with an A because he got hurt. So I'm gonna go with incomplete work. You know how you didn't finish your assignment in school? And it's like incomplete. The rest of it is incomplete. But he was on an A level when he was playing. I mean, our defense was really great. We were a great defensive team when we had him. And he also got double doubles. I remember the game against Memphis. I believe he played that first game. Did he play that first game against OKC?
Yeah, that first game. Yeah.
Yeah, when we beat OKC, he took over against San Antonio that first game against Wembanyama. So yeah, Tari Eason was playing at a very good A level, but the rest of it after he got hurt was incomplete assignment. So like I say, I'm gonna go with incomplete assignment. Again, Tari Eason is gonna go out there. He's gonna go out there. He's gonna compete hard. He's always around the basketball.
Yes.
He hits his 3-pointers at a 35-36% clip. That's good enough for us. And like I say, he's going to give you all he's got on that defensive side of the ball. So I'm going to go with incomplete, but when he was playing at an A level.
He was absolutely phenomenal. I mean, at one point when you would have Fred out there with Dillon Brooks, Tari Eason, Jabari Smith Jr., and Şengün, that defensive lineup was just like that was nightmares, people, and that's one of the reasons why we ended up like sweeping the Nuggets is because Tari Eason's length really, really bothered the Nuggets. That's something the Lakers didn't have, which was a lot of length. But I mean, Tari Eason, baby, hey, he's that big boy. You better watch out. Better watch out. So I guess we got to talk about one more guy, right? One more guy. That's our boy Jock Landale. Dante, start off with Jock Landale, please. I want to know your thoughts because the beginning when we first had him, not looking too good, but at the end of the season, he started to look better. He started to look like that guy that we signed. But at the beginning of the season, so go ahead, take away that one for me, Dante. Talk about Jock Landale.
Jock Landale played at a B level. He played at a B level in the second half. Okay. He played at a B level. He played at a B level in the second half. So overall, I'm gonna go C plus overall.
Yeah,
for the rest of the season. The season is C plus, but the second half, he played as good as you can ask him to play in the second half. He played as good as you asked him to play in the second half.
A jack of all trades guy. He was playing solid defense. He shot the 3-ball, which I didn't know Jock had that thing in his bag. He shot the 3-ball pretty okay, And then on top of that, he had some good playmaking times. He was rebounding like a center should. He was being big body in the paint, hitting some free throws, knocking down shots, doing some things that we expected him to be. So yeah, I agree with you. Yeah, the second half of the season, yeah, he played great. He was a solid screen setter for a while there when he actually cared. And he did a lot of the little things that I like too. And he would muck up. He would really kind of like Tari Eason. He just he was at times, not all the time, but at times he thrived in the chaos when he'd get in there and get those steals,
Yeah.
And we're diving for rebounds and all that. It was pretty nice to see. So yeah, I gotta go with the C plus. We're gonna be generous, giving him a C
Yeah,
plus.
I mean,
because that first half of the season, it's just
that first, we wanted him gone that first half of the season. That was just unacceptable. But the second half of the season saved him. He played as good as basketball as we all wanted him to play. So again, he played at a C plus level. That doesn't mean don't be surprised if we get out of his contract though this coming summer, because remember that contract that contract is not really guaranteed to him. So don't be surprised if we find a way to get up out of it. If we find a way to get up out of it and make them as trade bait as well. So again, like I say, Jock Landale turned it on late throughout the All-Star break. That Phoenix game helped him out pretty good. I like that Phoenix game that he played. And after that, he was on man to man's boys.
He was, yeah. He played like the center that we signed, and he did what we expected. He met expectations. So that's going to be it for our player reviews, all done for the season. Great season for the Houston Rockets, guys. I absolutely loved it. 41 wins, the best 11 seed ever. I got to hang my banner up back there on my blank wall still. But that was just, could have made the play-in in the East, of course. Probably could have made the playoffs in the East. I'm pretty confident about that based on how the teams are looking. But, we're in the West, the toughest Western Conference, ever in NBA history. Records show it. So, hey, it is what it is, That's what's going to be. So, guys, comment down below. Let us know your reviews for players. Do you agree with us? Do you disagree with us? Do you have your own grades you want to give? Anybody be left out that you want to talk about? Maybe Nate Hidden or, some of the other guys that are on the bench. Maybe Boban. He deserves a grade maybe. But we're going to move on to free agency. Dante and I have a couple names for some free agents that may or may not be interested in coming into Houston. So let's talk about that. Let's jump right into that, guys. First up, I want to talk about Paul George. The likelihood of that happening and all of that. I know Jackson Gatlin, the Locked On Rockets, touched up on it. So we're going to be real brief for Paul George. Currently, he plays for the Los Angeles Clippers. He's a solid guy. He does have a player option right now on his contract. So there is the potential that he might want out for a different team. He has had records show he likes Alperen Sengun. He likes Jalen Green. He likes them a lot. He had them on the podcast. He talked pretty highly of them.
Both of them, yep.
He talks pretty highly of them. He is currently a 9-time All-Star. That's pretty good. He's a 4-time All-Defensive guy, 6-time All-NBA. He's the 2012-2013 Most Improved Player of the Year and the 2018-2019 Steals Champion. He was only 4 steals more than James Harden, by the way, guys. I don't know if you guys know that year. That was the year he averaged 36 a game. And he was on the all-rookie team. So that's kind of just a little bit of Paul George, his resume. Nothing too flashy. He averaged last season, or this season technically, 22 points a game, 5 boards, and 3.5 assists on some okay efficiency. Now, in the playoffs, he did drop, though. That's the thing that we're going to talk about is Paul George, right? What's our idea of getting Paul George? And because to me, he's not moving the needle. He's not insuring. I don't even think he's insuring us a playoff spot, right? Let alone, I think getting Paul George ensures us making sure we get to play in.
Yeah.
But I don't think that he gets us to the playoffs specifically just by signing him. I think all of our other players need to grow as well. So my thing is, what are we giving up for Paul George? Right? What are we gonna have to give up contract-wise, picks-wise, or is he gonna just opt out of his contract, right? Because he's a player option, and can we just sign him outright? Which we could, but if we're doing that, I mean, he's expecting he wants a max contract. I think he wants 220 for 4 years, 5 years, 220 from the Clippers, and they're probably not going to abide by that. He wants the same
No.
contract that Kawhi got, and I doubt that that's going to happen. But let's break this down real quick. Dante, are you for or against Paul George?
Uh, if Ime Udoka will do the move, which is he will have a big say so in the moves that he does do, the players that we do bring in. I will be with Ime Udoka because I trust him and what he's able to do. And seemed like that can be a move that the Rockets will make if Ime Udoka want that to happen. Ime Udoka loves veterans. He loves toughness, bringing toughness to this team. And you see what he did with Dylan Brooks when nobody thought we would take a chance on him. And we took a chance on him. And bam, I mean, look what happened. So again, if that does happen, I will be opposed to it if that does happen. Like I said, it's just more me just being able to trust my head coach and what he can do and how good he develops talent and how good, he get the message out there to those guys and stuff like that. Will it move the needle and help us win a championship? No, it won't, but it will help us get that closer to being a full blown playoff team. And that's why I think we all want to see as Rockets fans. Now we did go 41-41 in the tough Western Conference. Now what's the next step? Let's get into the playoffs. Let's get into the playoffs and try to make some noise. Let's try to get into the playoffs, try to make some noise. That's our goal for next year due to the fact that we did go 41-41. We did achieve well over expectations that we supposed to. Now our goal is to get better and get in the playoffs. Our goal is going to be pushing in that playoffs. I mean, like I say, not playing tournament wise. I would think people will be fine, with playing tournament contentions. But we was right there this year. We was right there, had a chance for playing. I'm expecting, playoffs next year. If I'm assuming the roster will be better, and if we can trade away those Brooklyn picks, I would assume that we're going to be active in the summer of trying to get rid of those. But if he was proposed for Paul George, I'll take Paul George. I have no problem with that because again, that's what Ime Udoka would try to go for. And trust me, every move he has, every move that we do, you know, he will have a say so into the move that we do. He will have a say so. He will definitely have a say so what players that he want a part of the system. So yeah, I will be all for it because like I said, I trust in what Ime Udoka can do. And Paul George is a hell of a player. I mean, you getting a 20-point per game score, 22, 23-point per game score. You're getting a great defender. You're getting a great shot creator. But again, it's all upon what Ime Udoka wants and what he wants to do with this team and how he wants this roster to be constructed.
For sure, for sure. My only two issues with getting Paul George is one, what does that mean for our young guys, right? If we can acquire Paul George without giving up any of our core six, we probably do it, right? If it's for Dylan Brooks, Jock Landale, Jay Sean Tate, and like maybe this year's first round pick and a couple seconds, you do it. But is that going to be enough to get you Paul George realistically? Are the Clippers, because the Clippers, if they're trading Paul George, they're trading for depth and picks, right? That's what I imagine that they're going to trade for. If we sign Paul George outright, I don't want to give him the max. I'm not going to give him because then that leaves less money for Jabari, Şengün, Jalen, and everybody else in the pot there, right? We only have so much money. If everyone's got their hands in the pot, then that's not enough for everybody else. You know what I mean? So if Paul George is, if he's okay with getting less than the max, like if he's okay with getting 30 million for 3 years, okay, I'd probably do that. 30 for three, 30 for four, the 90 to 120 million. I'd probably do that. But anything more, that 35, 36, 37, you know what I mean? It's just really hard contractually to kind of figure out how we move that because if we want to trade him later on in the future, then we have to attach assets to that because he's going to be a negative contract because of age, the length of the contract, and how much it costs. So those are my big issues with Paul George coming over. And then again, what does that mean for our young guys, right? Jalen's getting less shots. Şengün might be getting less shots. Amen, Cam, and Tari are probably all getting less shots. because Paul George is going to be a bona fide scorer, right? He just averaged 24 on the highest efficiency he ever has in his career on 47, 41, about 42% from three, and 91% from the free throw line. Also, that's the James Harden effect, by the way. I just want to, James Harden fan here. I got some of this piece about James Harden. That's James Harden effect. He just had him average 24 on, or 23 on the best efficiency of his entire career, this late in his career. So that's really good to see. But again, he's 34. He's an aging star. He's still an all-star. He's still that kind of guy. But, what are we going to give up to get him? And what does that mean for young guys? So somebody that's a little bit younger, somebody that is interesting. He's a 3-and-D guy, and he's, in my opinion, kind of like a better Dylan Brooks. Kind of like the same 3-point shot profile. Kind of some of those things similar. He's a better defender. He's a better rebounder, and he's less selfish. OG Anunoby. Now, he's a guy I'd love to go get. My only issue with OG is that, in my opinion, I think he's kind of like Tari Eason. He's going to be what we imagine Tari Eason to be. OG and Tari Eason are probably one of the same, right? So, Dante, I want your thoughts on OG Anunoby, and if the Knicks somehow let him go, because it looks like he just injured his hamstring in the playoffs here, so we'll see what ends up happening with that. But, if we can somehow pry OG Anunoby away from the Knicks, is that even something you want to pursue?
No. He's like a Tari Eason or Cam Whitmore type player. And we already got 2 players that's like that. And I don't want to have to pay him big money. I'm not paying him no type of money. Just to, I'll be rather, it depends on what Paul George wants. I'd rather deal with that than deal with the same caliber player that the other 2, Cam Whitmore and Tari Eason is. But then he's always hurt. He has an injury history. He does have quite a bit injury history. So, yeah, I stay away from OG Anunoby.
Yeah, I mean, injuries have already been an issue. Şengün, he missed, 17 games here, or the last 19 games or so, 18 games. Tari Eason missed half the season. Jalen's the only guy on our entire roster that played every single games, right? All the games for this season, all 82. So that says something. So that means Dante is not going to be a fan of the next guy I'm going to talk about. He's another injury-prone guy, but this is just over the last 2 years. He's become a little bit more injury-prone. His name is Evan Fournier. He plays for the Pistons, and he's got a team option. So there might be some room for potential trade right now. He might want out based on the Pistons' record. They didn't win a lot, I'll tell you that. And, they got Smiley over there, so I imagine he's probably not the biggest fan of him. He only played in 32 games this season. And in those 32 games, he averaged 7 points a game on 19 minutes. Not great. It's really not great. And then I don't know, there's a lot that you want to like about him, right? I mean, for his career, he's a career 37% 3-point shooter. We need the shooting, right? He's a 44% regular shooter, and then about an 80% free throw shooter. So, solid all around averages and a 37% 3-point shooter, and mildly okay defender when he plays against the Celtics for some reason. But other than that, that's about it. This year he regressed quite a lot. Like I said, he only averaged, about 7 points a game in those 19 minutes played, and he only was 27% 3-point shooter. Now, I want to attribute that to injury and, coaching staff changes with Monty Williams and Steven Silas over there. And I mean, in his earlier seasons, he's been, with New York, he was a 47% 3-point shooter, when he was with, or 47, I apologize, 38% 3-point shooter, and then when he was with Denver, he was a 37% 3-point shooter, when he was with Orlando, he was a 37% 3-point shooter. So I think he's a guy, and with Boston, he was a 46% 3-point shooter, just lights out from three. That's really an outlier there. So this is a guy I'd like to get, if we can get him cheap, right? He's got a team option, so hopefully the team decides to opt out on him. And if they do choose to opt out, then that'll mean a lot for us because we could probably get him cheap. Because his current contract, he's making like $30 million. I'm not paying that dude $30 million no matter what. But if we can get him for cheaper, that's something I want to do, and that's something I want to pursue. So what are your thoughts on Evan Fournier if we can get him for cheap?
I don't want no Aaron Fournier. I want him far away from Houston. I don't want Aaron Fournier. First of all, he's up in age, can't play a lick of defense, a liability on the defensive side of the ball. I pass on Evan Fournier. I don't want Evan Fournier on the scene.
Good. I'm glad we're in the same boat here. And we're really just kind of picking and choosing a lot of these guys to stay away from the team. But here's somebody I think Dante might actually like. Let's see if I can give him the bite on this one. Buddy Hield, right? Buddy Hield. Buddy Hield, for his career, is not a bad guy. He's currently averaging 12 points a game for this season. He's got a lot of threes made in his career. For the Sixers, it looks like he ended up shooting 39% from three and 44% from the field, 92% from the free throw line. Very, very good. The only issue is his playoff drop. That's something that is going to be talked about. That's probably why Dante's sitting here saying, no, get him out of here. His playoff drop is pretty notorious. Let's see. This season, he was only able to average 40. He averaged 46% from three. That's because he only took 13 3-point attempts. He played only 4 games, and in those 4 games, he had a total of 22 points. That's not great. That is not great. We want to see a lot of changes going from there. But let me pull up his other stats. Yes, I am looking at this from Basketball Reference, by the way, guys. Yeah, he averaged 13 minutes a game and had a total of 5.5 points per game. And he had Tyrese Maxey and Joel Embiid next to him. He should be getting to shoot that thing quite a lot in the corner there, but instead they gave those shots to a guy like Tobias Harris and all of that. So that does attribute to some of Buddy Hield's non-success there. But I don't know. He's a mild defender, right? He's not the best defender, but he's not the worst defender. I think if we're gonna lose people like Aaron Holiday and Jeff Green, potentially, and Jayshawn Tate, I think he'd be okay to pick up as like a reserve 3 and D guy in case we need him. He's going to play that Reggie Bullock role. I think he'd fit that pretty well and be a better Reggie Bullock. So that's what I'm looking at. I'm not looking at him to be a starter, but a guy that's going to replace Reggie Bullock. So go ahead, Dante, give me your thoughts.
I'm not high on Buddy Hield at all like that. I think he can be a lethal shooter, but that playoff track record showed me, hey, it's not good, man. You look that bad in the playoffs, that's not good. But like I say again, if Ime Udoka was to make the move, and then you don't got to pay him a lot of money, so that's why you can pretty much bring him in, and he'll be a part of a rotation, and he'll be able to shoot the ball pretty well when he's open. He's shown some stability. He can create his own shot, but I'm not that high on Buddy Hield. But other than that, with a younger team, not that much higher expectations, he may perform pretty well.
Yeah, he could be something, like I said, taking up on that Reggie Bullock role. Just kind of like catch and shoot three. Maybe occasionally drive and pass out. Kick and drive or drive and kick. That's kind of the expectations for him, and we could probably pay him very little, especially if nobody is really looking to get him. And if he's looking to find a new home in Houston, I believe in Ime Udoka, so I believe in that. Dante, do you have any free agents you'd like to talk about?
It's Gary Trent Jr. free agent? Oh, he's out.
Yeah, he will be a free agent.
I would love Gary Trent Jr. Like I said, I'm very high on Gary Trent Jr. Like him. Tyus Jones, if he's a free agent, will be a solid backup option in case Aaron Holiday leaves. That's only if he's a free agent. So he will be a solid backup option if he was if Aaron Holiday was to leave. But I love me some Gary Trent Jr., man. I really do. The kid can shoot the ball. I think Boban Bogdanovic, is he a free agent for the New York Knicks, or he still got a couple years?
Oh, you're talking about Boban?
Bogdanovic. Yeah, Bogdanovic, yeah.
Yeah. He is not a free agent.
Okay.
Year, I think.
Yeah, but Gary Trent Jr., man, I would love to have that guy on this team.
Yeah, he shot 40% from three this season, and he shot 43% from the field this season. He made 2.5 threes on 6.4 3-point attempts from the season, so pretty elite, making about 2.5. Now, the last couple of seasons, he was making 3 threes a game, but they dropped down a little bit. to 2.5. But he is playing less minutes, and he played primarily off the bench this season. He played 71 games, and 41 of those games he started. So 30 games he was actually on the bench. So reverse that. He primarily started, but it was almost really 50-50 is what we're looking at. He averaged 14 points a game coming off here. He's a pretty good defender too. He averaged 1.7 steals a couple seasons ago, and then 1.6 last season. This year, he only averaged a little over a steal, 1.1. But I want to attribute that to him being on the bench and having like a different role with the Toronto Raptors. So hopefully, this is a guy that we can kind of swoop in and steal. Because if we can get this guy, to come off, because he can play the 1, 2, and the 3. So if we can get somebody like that that's interchangeable, we can play him, Jalen, Dylan Brooks, and a couple other guys. He'd be probably a really good piece coming off the bench right next to Amen Thompson as another guy in your lineup that you can just kick to, right? Because Amen is, when he's driving, he's going to the paint, and he's either scoring or he's passing. And those are your two options there. He's not missing, he's not missing that thing. So, these are. I think Gary Trent is probably going to be, out of the guys that we talked about, our best option and our most realistic option. Again, I love Paul George, and some of our other guys. OG, he's just injury ridden. Same with Evan Fournier, and even Buddy Hield to a better extent. But Buddy Hield's biggest flaw is his playoff drop. If we make the playoffs, we can't play him a single minute. Otherwise, it's it's all over. So those are kind of our issues that we're running into. But Gary Trent, he kind of fixes all those things. Plays defense, he shoots the ball well, he drives, he play makes when he needs to. He's a willing passer. I think under Ime Udoka, he'd be fantastic. He'd probably average, somewhere between 11 to 12 points again this season if we end up picking him up off the bench, just because he's going to get so many wide open attempts and he's going to have every chance to drive. So I'd say that's going to be our best guy. Dante, before we end off here, you want to do a tankathon spin, man? We haven't done a tankathon spin in so long.
Hey, we may have a legit chance to get in the top 4, man. We may have a legit chance, man.
What would be funny is if we got in the top 4 again, and instead of because last time we got top 4, we got Jalen Green.
Yeah.
Right. If we get the top 4 this year, we could pick up another huge guy. So I'm sure you've got your own draft in mind. So let's do it, right? Let's share this screen right here and see what's going on, right? Let's do it. All right. So this is what it's looking like right now. We currently have the 9th best odds at getting the top pick. So there is that.
So is that 12th pick ours, right? So we got 2 picks?
Yeah. We got the Brooklyn pick at 9, and then our pick, which might convert to OKC. So let's sim this thing, man. Come on. No.
We went to 10. We dropped the spot.
We did drop a spot. And Chicago moves all the way up to the first pick. Wow.
Yeah, last time they did that, Derrick Rose.
Derrick Rose, baby. Yep. Yeah. Started look real nice over there, man. Wow, that is pretty unfortunate. This is going to be our last tankathon spin as well, because as you see, it is going to be Sunday. What is it? Sunday at 2? Mm-hmm. The draft thing is at? Yeah. Wow. So thank you guys for watching.
Draft lottery, yep.
Yeah, man. Yeah, that's gonna be really fun. Now, I'm not doing a live for it, but AD might be doing something with that. We'll figure out that.
If AD doing it, then I'm gonna join it. If he's doing a live for it, I'm gonna join him.
For sure. We'll have to figure that out. Figure all that out. But remember, guys, I want you guys to comment down below, right? If you want this free Tari Eason bobblehead, all right, giving that away myself. Be sure to comment down below. Let us know either if you agree with us on some of these, the reviews. What are your thoughts on these guys? Do you think Tari Eason should be higher or lower? Do you think Jock Landale deserves less than a C plus than what we gave him? And then can you guys tell us about some free agents? I'm really interested in some agents that might be on the market, or some guys that are on a 1-year deal that we might be able to sign and trade for. I'm interested in what you guys think. Let us know down below in the comments of the YouTube channel. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for listening. Dante, let them know where they can find you at.
Man, y'all know y'all can find me at Coach Dante 31 on X, Coach Dante 31 on Instagram, Coach Dante on YouTube, man. Y'all can find me right here on the H-Town Rundown with my main guy Preston, AD. Sometimes y'all gonna better find me on them Texans shows as well. So y'all can find me pretty much everywhere, man.
Yeah, Dante, he's got everything going on. Also, like I said, check out his YouTube channel, man. He goes crazy over there, uploads daily. He had a feud between him and his boy a couple days ago, too. That was really interesting. Love to see it. Love to see it, man. So go check that out, man. Go check him out. You can follow me, your main host, at drip2ps_GAWD. You can follow me on Instagram as well as the X app. Guys, thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Follow the H-Town Rundown. Yeah, the H-Town Rundown as well on the X app as well as Instagram. Dante, it's been a pleasure, man. I can't wait to talk to you next time. You guys have a good one. Thank you.